Hello YouTube and welcome back. I have some more herbs. So I am at my table. I did just do a video on my seed book. It's just about done. It just needs a little tightening. This is the seed book. It needs a picture that says seed book. Thanks to Jay, he came up with this concoction. Look out for that video. So I just went in it to take out some seeds. And I did a video on the grow station and how things are looking. One thing that I noticed out of all the herbs that I got, I did not get any more rosemary, and I literally have one teeny tiny baby that I was just ready to transplant over. Let me show you in the camera. One little baby that popped up right there. Rosemary is very hard to grow, so I was going to plant some more rosemary, but I don't have any more rosemary seeds. Shocking, right? But I wanted to plant some more herbs, some things that I didn't have when I was planting. I want to do some lavender. I want to do some cilantro. I want to plant some thyme and some oregano. So these are the 5. I think there was one more. Oh, there is. I want to plant some dill. So I want to get them started. Figured I'd bring you along because I want to do the herbs. I don't need to do basil. It's doing fine. And the parsley over there is doing fine. Just not so much the rosemary. And I need a pack of rosemary seeds badly. So I figured I would turn on the camera. Oh, sorry about my water bottle. This is, in case you don't know, this is like the best water ever. If you feel dehydrated, it has electrolytes and everything in it. I buy the real big ones, and I will usually drink one of these within like a day, day and a half. Great water to stay healthy. But yeah, I wanted to bring you on. I still do have some tomatoes that, I don't know, I might have to do some tomato seeds over. There are a few I'll show you very quickly. There are a few that made it, and then there's quite a few, like these are here, but then there's quite a few empty slots, and they were of the new tomatoes. So with everything going on, and we're all housebound, I may use the same soil and just look at the stick and plant that particular tomato seed all over again and get it over there on the heat mat, and hopefully everything will be okay. But today we're going to plant some herbs, and I also wanted to plant some spinach, some kale, and some lettuces. So I have a lot of things over here like this that was already watered and done. So this will be going into the next gardening series video. And yeah, so I usually get this really big bag. The first bag, didn't work out so well. And I'm so surprised because I didn't plant anything more than last year. And I'm almost down to the bottom. And I have to get some lettuces and kales and stuff still planted. So I like doing the herbs and just these. My friend Jay gets them and he puts the holes in the bottom. I told you that in a previous video. So we are going to do, which one first? I want to do at least 2 of these of thyme. At least 2. So I wanted to bring you along. Wait, I have a different cup in here. Just to chop up some of the dirt that's getting a little clumpy. So I think 2 would be good on the thyme. I use a lot of thyme with chicken and soups and stuff. So, when you're planting your herbs, you just have to kind of figure out how much you're going to use. You can never have enough herbs because you can dehydrate them. That's a known fact. I did that last year. I still have a little bit of kale left. Thank God, because with everything going on, I'm glad that I stockpiled the way that I was. So these two are going to be for thyme. And then lavender, I think I may do 2 lavenders as well. I don't think I personally ever grew lavender before, so that'll be a first for me. And yeah, just figured why not? A lot of us are at home trying to be safe, so why not turn on the camera for content? Because I know you just all love seeing me so much. Yeah, I'm a jokester, like in real life. I've been doing videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I did just do a video, because I don't know when this one's going to come out. But I did post a random video on a Sunday, and that was because I just wanted to help people that couldn't find bread out of the stores. So I did post that randomly on a Saturday. Let me grab some more of these white cups. And hopefully we can get the herbs planted today. So if you didn't see that video on making bread, just go back. It's on there. It's a really simple white sandwich bread video that literally is so super easy to do. Let's see. We're stuck. That's the great thing about this, is because I don't have to buy these pots. They are given to me with the drainage holes already in it. And I love it. That's what I used last year. They worked out great. So he saves them all for me. So yeah. Okay. So I think 2 for thyme. And I'm going to do 2 lavender. I never planted that before. I want to do at least 2 of the cilantro. And remember, cilantro bolts easy, so make sure while you're busy gardening, you stop for a few minutes and you go and plant some more cilantro so that you have it for later in the gardening season. So let's see. I need, okay, the oregano. Love oregano. I use it in my gravies and everything, but I think I'm just going to stay with 2. Okay, so that these 2 here will be for dill. And now let's fill up 2 more. I'm using a cup to dig down deep in there. I don't know why the bottom is starting to get a little clumpy. Okay. Let me think. 2 cilantro, 2 lavender, 2 thyme, 2 dill. And this one will be for 2 oreganos. And then, yeah, it's going to be tough, but I have to find me either the rosemary plant, 2 of them, which I kind of would prefer it that way because they are so super hard to grow. And, yeah, so if I can get 2 of the plants, if not, then I'm going to need at least 2 packs of the seeds of rosemary, because that is not one herb you want to be without. So this is going to be for the basil. Never have enough basil. And my Genovese basil seeds are just not doing good. It's like 1 coming up in 1 container and 1 coming up in another container. So okay, I think we have our containers. Now, this was the Genevieve basil. I don't know what's going on with it. It just doesn't seem to be doing anything. So I might put some more seeds on that and then put it back over underneath the lights. But hopefully you can see all this. Let me grab, what did I do with it? Let me grab my spray bottle, fill it up with some water. I also held on to one of these Bonnie Bell cups, filled it up with dirt, wetted it. Is that the proper English? Wetted it. I've wet it, and I think I might do basil, the Mammoth basil, in 2 of these cups. So they were already cleaned out. I just held on to them for this year. And I think that's what I'm going to do as far as that Mammoth basil is concerned, is use these 2 types of cups. So when you do that, you just want to make sure that you wet the soil prior. So let me wet this one very quickly. I'm going to use a real little tiny cookie sheet that I have in case it drips everywhere. So normally I'm like way more organized than I am right now, and I'm hoping that you guys can see this. I don't know if I should push you back or bring you in. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so I did wet, like I said, I held on to these and I just filled it up with potting mix. And I think I'm going to do the Mammoth basil in there. It already obviously has the holes. You can see that on the bottom. And let's start off with that. So let me pull this forward. This is the Mammoth. Let me see how long it says it takes to germinate. Days to germinate, 7 to 14 days. So I may put all of these depending on a seed mat and help them along. Thought I just saw something in there. Okay. This is the one by M.I. Gardner right there. And days to maturity is 60 to 90 days. Okay. And another reason why I decided to use this is because sometimes you can actually split a basil plant into like 2. Basil doesn't really seem to get upset about its roots being disturbed. So I am going to open this pack, which has never been opened yet. Well, of course, I always have to rip the envelope. It never fails. And there's 200 in here. I'm just going to use my best judgment of what I think would be the right amount. Before I start that, hold on. I do want to let me hold my hand shut. I just want to use one of the spoons that I use as a tag just to fluff up the soil because I did wet it pretty well. I like to go all the way down with it. Before I go and lay the seeds, which I think are going to be right on the top. So let me double check that. Now the dogs are going to start. Yeah, just going to sprinkle them right on the top the best that I can. And I may put a little bit of soil over top of it. Not big clumps this time. Okay, now let's plant. I'm just going to sprinkle it around. And I'm going to sprinkle it around, do the same thing. And that's it. I'm going to squirt it just a little bit, just to hold it in place, the seeds. And I'm going to use one of my extra and just sprinkle just a little bit of dirt over top, not too much, just enough to cover it. So yeah, I did a video on, I don't think it's out yet, it should be out, dollar store seed haul, and recommended that you could do this while you're home or do it with your kids. If you never gardened before, growing herbs is like simple, easy. And that's it for that. So just moisten the top of the dry dirt that you put in there. And there is Mammoth Basil done. We'll put that off to the side. And let me was not prepared today at all. I've been getting, well, I had a humongous box of, I feel like you guys are back too far. I've had a big humongous box of utensils, and when I ran out of sticks, I was using those as labelers. You'll see that in a different video, but if you run out of sticks, get yourself some plastic spoons. And let me see if I have any left in my other box. This was by Diamond. It was from a graduation party, and I've been using these as labels for my blue ones. Don't work as well because the magic marker doesn't show up that great. And there's some forks, spoons, and knives, just a few left. So I am going to grab the last bit of spoons that are in here so that I can use them to label the herbs. Then just take a magic marker and we're going to write Mammoth Basil right on there. Just like so, which will probably be backwards to you guys. Mammoth Basil. And you just write it right on, and we're going to stick it right in there. So I figured, why not? I would bring you along to plant some additional herbs today. Dogs are in the den, now starting to whimper. And now we have 2 done. Next, we're going to do oregano. Move this out of your way so you guys can see. We're going to do some oregano. It says that you can use it for containers, 8 to 10 days to germinate. Yeah, you don't really even have to plant these very far down in. So let's see how many are in here, because this is a pack that's from the dollar store haul. No way. Package doesn't want to open. And there's not a ton in here. So definitely going to go for 2. Let me wet the soil a little bit. Hopefully 2 containers. So yeah, if things somewhat go back to normal, I'd like to go back out and get 4 for $1 more of the herbs, because this oregano is very chinsy in there. And it's almost like a fine dust powder, literally. Can you see this? Oregano looks like pepper flakes. It's so super fine. So we are going to wing it. And sprinkle right across the top. And that's it. We'll have to see. I might do a tiny sprinkle more in that one. Literally is so fine. So I definitely need another pack of oregano. And I got to get some rosemary. And that's that. I'm just going to push them down ever so lightly. We're going to top them off with a tiny bit of soil. Super easy video of just planting some herbs. You don't need a lot of dirt to cover it up. And then I am going to put these on the seed mat. So I just wanted to bring you along for a couple herbs that I wanted to plant. Okay, and that is oregano. Fold it over, and now we're going to write on the spoon. Oh, I do want to wet it. I'm going to wet the top so that they will germinate. And then we're going to write oregano right on the spoon that I'm using as a tag. And there we go. That quick to plant some herbs. Let me put my dogs outside and then we shall continue. Every time I'm doing something, I have a younger Yorkie that has separational anxiety. Every time I do something, she needs my attention. So she wanted to go out. So I just put them outside. It's not the nicest day here today at all. It's raining. It's not so good. Okay, so we got the mammoth basil done. We did 2 oreganos. Let's go with some lavender because I've never planted lavender before. Just wetting the soil, which I will probably have to fill up. My squirt bottle again. I feel like, is my head being cut off? Let's see what lavender looks like. And it's 15 to 20 days to germinate, so this definitely is going on a seed mat. I may even put saran wrap over that because of how long that it takes for it to germinate. One thing I did notice is some of their envelopes just do not open up very easy. Sometimes they just rip. So gotta be careful when you're opening them. These are much bigger. Let me show you. This is what lavender looks like. It's definitely bigger than the other one that we did that looked like pepper. So, I have to think here. If you find twigs, just pick them out. Okay, I just want to rough this up very quickly. And then we're basically just going to sprinkle them right on the top. Smooth it out. Break any big clumps up. Okay. I am just going to estimate. And that's it. All done. We're going to put a little bit of soil right over the top. Just to cover it. You don't need a ton. This is probably not the most exciting video, but we're all stuck in, and I checked some of my herbs and they weren't looking so great. Plus I got a few newer herbs, so I wanted to turn on the camera so I could show you, even if you're new here, how easy it is just to plant herbs. You can do this with your kiddos. You could do it yourself if you've never gardened before. Super easy. And that was the lavender. True lavender, it's called. So I want to fold this down so the seeds don't fall out. So that was the true lavender right there. And now I'm just going to mark it. Wait. I want to make sure I put true lavender on there. And we're using the spoons as our little stakes to tell us what it is. So you can improvise with popsicle sticks, plastic spoons, forks, plastic butter knives. These from Amazon, but I was out of those. And there we go. And that didn't take very long. Let's see, cilantro. We're going to move on to cilantro, but let me grab my container of water. I keep a milk container. You girls done? Excuse me. We are going to just an empty that I cleaned out. I will refill it back up when I'm done doing the herbs. I usually just let it sit on my cabinet. My counter. So this will be for cilantro. We're going to do cilantro, and then I think we have one left to do. I think it takes more to do a video than it actually with all the interruptions. So let's move on to cilantro. And I think I'm going to actually sit this whole pan. If I can fit the next two on here, I'm going to fit the whole pan. Sit the whole pan. I can't speak today. I'm going to sit the whole pan on the heat mat. I'm trying to open this ever so carefully. Okay. Just rough up the top of the soil. Just lightly. These are bigger. Coriander. I will bring it closer so you can see. Almost looks like mustard seed before you grind it. So, that one was between my fingers. 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we'll go for 1 for good luck in each of them. Here we go. And we're going to put these back in. And there's a good amount of cilantro in there, so that's good. And now, because these are like, I'm just going to slightly move the soil over them, and then we're going to get ready to cover. So let's give it a squirt. Keep the seeds there. The water's running out, and I see a seed right up against the wall of the pot, which I knew that wouldn't work. So we're just going to spray them just to hold them in place. And then next, this is why I say the kids out of school, you can do this with your kids. Maybe if you're homeschooling, it'd be considered like a curriculum. And I'm just going to lightly put some soil over the top. Lightly spread it out with my finger. And the same to the next one. Sprinkle some soil. There we go. And I'm just going to top it off with a little bit of water, unless I can fill up my bottle from here. So I usually don't like to do that because you move the seeds around. I'm just going to fill up my spray bottle with some water. Give it a spray, label 2 spoons, and what's left? I think thyme. Even though you're wetting the soil prior, you're putting dry soil on the top. You want to give it a good little dousing, but don't overwater. We all make that mistake. And there is the cilantro. So let me write out 2 spoons. Or cilantro. Like so. There we go. I have room back here for a few more. So let's see what was left. Oh, dill and thyme. I think I can fit, let's see. These are a little bit bigger. Let's see if I can fit one more container. Yeah, we'll be able to manage. Okay, so now we're going to do some dill. Well, I'm not sure how much I have left of the dill. This is from last year. It's plenty of dill, actually. So, water your dirt. You hear that noise? It's just the dogs in the kitchen eating. We are going to do some dill, which in case you've never seen a dill leaf, seed, that is what they look like. So I'm just going to sprinkle a few around. I don't need a lot of dill, so I think that's plenty. I use dill for fish. I don't usually ever have to buy herbs from the supermarket because I usually grow enough of it. So this is the dill. It does say it's dill bouquet, but we'll write it. B-O-Q UET. Right there. Okay. That's that. Now we have to put, I just want to push them down a little bit. It's all on the surface. We're going to give it a little loose dirt, just in case you get a clump. We are going to cover these with some loose soil. It looks about right to me. And that is good. A little bit more in this one. And then we're just going to spray it. There we go. We have one more left to do, and that will be that. Unless, did I do it all? Let me see. I'm missing something. We did the dill. I think we're missing thyme. Thyme is our last one that we're going to plant together, but I just pretty much wanted to show how easy it is to start a little herb garden. Thyme, I don't know if I need 2 of these. I might just do 1, because pretty sure you can split thyme the same way that you can split basil. If anyone finds that incorrect, please leave me a comment down below. And yeah, so let's just make sure there's no big clumps on the top of this. We are going to do 1 thyme. There we go. Just making sure. So we did dill, cilantro, that's a cilantro too. Can't see it when it's backwards. True lavender, we did 2 of those. And we did oregano, mammoth basil, and now this one will be the thyme. Super tiny. I should have just showed you how tiny that was. Smaller than black specks of pepper, to the point where you can still feel it on your hands. So just mixing it up a little bit. Fresh, fluffy soil on the top of it. And then we are just going slightly tap it down, spray it. The water bottle's leaking. Yeah, if you were ever intimidated to do herbs, don't be intimidated. It's super easy. Like I said, it literally takes me longer to set everything up, not be interrupted by the dogs, to put out a video. That is literally what takes the longest. This is super easy. It's a cute little craft to do with your kids, or like I said, if you never gardened before. Grab some herb seeds as soon as you can get out, or maybe you already have them, and plant yourself some herbs. So that was the moral of today's video, was to plant some of the herb seeds together, and now we have a good bed. I actually have a really good bed. Just checking to make sure I didn't miss anything. That's done. So yeah, squeaky chair. So we did mammoth basil, oregano, lavender, cilantro, dill, and thyme. And let me lift this up for you. This is a tiny little cookie sheet. That's what I have it on. So after these dry, you can water from the bottom, not from the top. And yeah, that is today's videos, or today's video. I say videos because I've already done one other video on the Grow Station setup. So we just did herbs together. Fantastic. They're done. Do it. You'll feel more comfortable that you have herbs outside to pick. Do it with your kiddos. It's super easy. It really doesn't take long. Like I said, it takes more time to do the video setting it up than it actually does to plant herbs. So there you have it. There are the herbs that we just did. And thank you everyone for joining me today. Thank you to all the subscribers. If you're new here, please subscribe, smash the like button, and let's get growing. Until next time, I bless you.